Right. All right, our next guest. I love her title. She asked me to introduce her this specific way. Raven, the talk show Maven from Super Bowl Mondays. We are so excited to have you out there. We've had, obviously, Beth bragging on you and such great stuff. So you've been popping in and out, listening, watching, Raven. So glad to have you here on Podcast Day.
Thank you. I'm excited about being here. Yeah. Awesome. You're doing a fabulous job. Yes. Yes. You're rocking it. I've been through what you've gone through with 40, 50 different. So I get you. You've done a lot of work for sure.
Good stuff. So Raven, the talk show Maven here, is a former CNN radio personality. Raven, aka the talk show Maven. Now, many is a queen of interview marketing and conversation. She's a recipient of the 2016 President Lifetime Achievement Award, Global Women's Outstanding Leadership Award, and the Giant Community Award. As a child, she dreamt of being on radio. However, her journey didn't begin until she was 55 years of age at the ICU of a hospital waiting for her mother's bedside for her to recover. That's when she realized that in order to truly be there financially for her mom, she had to change the direction of her life. A few months later, she started her first interview podcast and now has taken it from a single show into the popular Amazing Women of Power iTunes radio station, reaching 4.5 million listeners and featuring up to 20 other radio host shows. On top of having a positive programming radio station, she hosts 3 award-winning radio shows, but her true passion is teaching other entrepreneurs how to be the Oprah and Larry King in their niche. Leveraging the power of interview marketing will grow their business fast. Raven is considered to be one of the best when it comes to interviewing current thought leaders, celebrities, powerful business owners, and ordinary people with extraordinary stories. Raven is the prime definition of thriving beyond your circumstances. She's a survivor of an emotionally abusive child and broken through barriers to building a 6-figure new mini business from her kitchen table. And so we are honored to have Raven, the talk show Maven, join us here on Podcast Day.
Thank you.
Good stuff out there. So let me unshare. Hang on here. Stop share there. Man, that's great stuff. You are just rocking and rolling out there, Raven. What's one of the biggest things that you've learned from interviewing so many people over the last few years? What's been the biggest nugget that's really stood out to you, maybe helped you become a better interviewer?
Yeah, just to get past your stuff and get out there and do it. A motto I've developed and that I teach my clients now, Scott, is don't wait to be great. Do it now. After interviewing early on Lisa Nichols, and she talked about, just staying in the game and doing what you need to do and getting past your pain to get to your power so you can live your life on purpose with a definite purpose. And Lisa talked about having that no matter what attitude. And, and then there was Cynthia Kersey that did a book called Unstoppable, and she always talked about being unstoppable. And so those are the type of things that I've really picked up and ran with it. I don't think about a lot of stuff. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's cray-cray. I just kind of dive in there. I think I'm the fire and I forget to aim. How about that? So I married a husband, number 4. Hey, ladies, skip number 3 and go to 4. It's the best, honest. And so he does all the thinking for me, and I just go from the heart. And I try to tell people, speak from the heart, gut, and soul. Do whatever you're going to do that's going to please you, because we only get one chance at this life right here. And so we can't let things or people stand in our way.
Such great knowledge there.
Yeah.
You've got the Super Bowl Monday, but you've got a couple variety of different podcasts out there. You want to take a few minutes to talk about them?
Yeah, absolutely. I have several shows on my network, Amazing Women, and we just changed it to Amazing Women and Men of Power, because, Scott, this is an exclusive. I want you to know I haven't shared this with anyone. But
hang on a second. Hang on. I was going to drum roll.
Yeah, drum roll. After attending 3 of Steve Olsher's Icon, the New Media Summits, I decided to go back to the basics of what started me with podcasting. So we have our station, and we're just launching this coming week. If all the hosts get me their artwork in time, we're going to launch the Amazing Women and Men of Power. It's always been Amazing Women, where we feature guys on Friday, but now we're featuring guys all through the week. And it's going to be Amazing Women and Men of Power Global Radio. network, which will include podcasting. So we're excited about that. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So my shows are Super Bowl Monday. I have Talk Show Maven Tonight Show that's kind of like the regular Tonight Show. We have lots of entertainers like Sinbad and all kind of folks on there, big celebrities, as well as everyday people like us sharing their story. And then I have Women Power, which is the show that I started from the ICU unit of the hospital when my mother was ill. That one is a 3-time award-winning show, and that's just helping baby boomers, I guess you could say women in their midlife now, to go for their dreams and visions no matter what, and to finally get past the abusive husband or childhood like me that you had or whatever you went through. Stop carrying that baggage. Don't take it to your grave. Make it your intention to get more life out of living and more living out of life. And so, I could go on and on. I mean, I got so many shows, I had to start a radio station. So we ain't going to go down that line. How about that? I'll save you some time.
But it's great stuff. As you're hitting different nails on the heads and helping out there. What's been, though, you're probably something that you've learned the most from one of your guests that's impacted the most, though, Raven?
You know what? Wow. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned was from an interview I did with, I would say both Montel Williams and J.B. Hill, who's Napoleon Hill's grandson. So Montel Williams, he shared his story on MS and how he almost thought he was going to die. And that's really when I began to really develop the don't wait to be great attitude, Scott, because, he actually almost cried in that interview. And if anybody wants to hear that, they can go to womenpower-radio.com and look on the celebrity side and you'll see an interview with Montel Williams. And that touched me so much. In fact, that was before I was known as Raven, the Talk Show Maven. And you hardly even hear from me because I was like this. I couldn't believe I was even interviewing Montel. I was like, so I didn't do much, but he taught me how we cannot wait. We have to get past our pain. We have to really do the thing to have the power. He talked about where he was on the ambulance had to come get him at an event and he thought he was going to die and he was scared and he was thinking about the things he didn't do. He also thought about the things he'd done, but there was so much more he wanted to give. So that's a real big lesson. And then the other one was from Dr. J.B. Hill, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, that wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. His grandson told me that his granddad gave him the Think and Grow Rich book autographed when he was younger. And do you know, Scott, JB did not even pick up that book again until he got in his 40s and 50s and started practicing the principles. So the other lesson is don't take things that are given to us for granted. Just because our family may be really known or we may have met a celebrity or, we may have got these accolades and awards and stuff. Don't take it for granted and don't put it on the side. Figure out what lesson can I learn from this? And why was this brought to my path? That's what I did. I started listening to him and saying, wow, I read Think and Grow Rich like many of us, but I never in a million years would have thought that this girl that taught herself how to do radio and podcasting and interview from the hospital would be on the phone talking to Napoleon Hill's grandson and getting these lessons. And he talked, he just went and he shared how we have to act as if, and we have to just speak things in existence and how much stuff we take for granted that's right in front of us. So those are the two lessons I learned, and I guess from two great guests.
Wow, that's great, amazing lessons there. Yeah, the fact that he didn't read Think and Grow Rich, one of the most life-changing books out there, I think, for anybody who read that, so it's great work by Napoleon there. What's your what advice would you give to somebody who's starting a podcast out there? What's your unique advice you would give somebody from your experiences of doing so many different shows and talking to so many people?
Yeah, I would say think big. Go, first of all, just go for it. Don't try to dot the I's and cross the T's. This is the biggest problem I have with my clients. They're trying to get everything perfecto. Okay. They're always worried about what people are going to say. And then they start talking about the what ifs. So let the what ifs go and go with your heart, your gut, and your soul, and just go with it. And remember, if you don't know how to interview, if you're scared how to interview, just ask a question, zip it. Ask the next question, zip it. Ask the next question, zip it. And if you're doing a solo show, don't worry about what you're going to say. Don't try to have a script. Get about 5 talking points, have a juicy, sizzling topic. And remember, it's not about what's in it for you. It's about what's in it for them. So the radio station used to be WIFM, but too many people start thinking me, and they were forgetting about the audience. They were forgetting about the real purpose. So I always tell people, think of it like this, WIFT, what's in it for them, and take me out the picture. Make sure that your audience is going to have not more than an experience, but they're going to have a end result. They're going to have a transformation when they listen to you. They're going to get somewhere by listening to you. And that's the prime thing that we want to focus on, because it's all about changing lives. And, when you're podcasting, you can reach millions. Let me say that again. When you're podcasting, you can reach millions. And you don't want to waste the space that you are given here. I tell podcasters and talk show hosts all the time, Scott, we're in a very serious position, and we have to take responsibility for that, because we can change people's lives, but we can also hurt people. So you have to really put some thought in it, but don't get into your head. Stay in your heart. You can't go wrong with that.
That's a really good point. We got Kim Sutton online says, that's awesome. The WIIT, loving it. That's great. I think it's what a lot of people think is, what's your audience want to hear? What's your audience struggles? Maybe not so much your struggles. I mean, it's good to know and share your struggles if your audience is going through the same things too. But take it and flip the camera not on what you should be focused on, but what can you do the most to help your audience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right. However, I will say that beginning, I was all about me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it real type of girl. Because I made a vision board at the hospital of all the different people I wanted to interview. Jack Canfield, Alex, Lisa Nichols, Brian Tracy, and I just put all the people. Jane Kennedy was the first celebrity I interviewed, so I put all these people on my vision board. And then better than that, I ran online and I cut out pictures of them and I taped them across my computer. So I'd be talking to them every day and spoken into existence. I wasn't thinking about the audience. I was thinking, this is my chance to ask Brian Tracy that question I always wanted to ask him, or Lisa Nichols and stuff. So I was really thinking, oh my God, I can ask the questions I've always dreamt of asking. Now what I've learned is I keep my show focused for my audience, but what I will do is I will create summits like you're doing. I will create books. And that's when I'll go out and reach and interview people for the purpose of me. And to be honest, interviewing because you read something in my bio about emotional abuse as a child. And so interviewing has been healing to me. It has been my therapy. You can't interview. I think I've interviewed over 5,000. Probably 5,200 people in my years of interviewing, not all for me, some for clients and stuff. But you can't interview those type of people, the Les Browns, the Jack Canfields, the Russell Simmons, and all the great people that I've been able to interview. Sherry Shepard, Allie Brown. Remember Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman, Chili from TLC, all these people, you can't interview them over and over again and some of it not rub off of you. Thank God it rubbed off to me. What's that old saying, Scott? I ain't where I want to be, but thank God I ain't where I used to be. Yeah. For real. For real. I just wish my mother had been alive to to see me get this the award from President Obama. I didn't get to see him, but his ambassadors. I got to go to Atlanta and walk across the stage, get the pin. There's my award. She lived 6 years after the time in the hospital, long enough for me to do my first book, Broadcast Your Passion. She wrote poetry. I put her in the book, so she was a published a poet before she passed away. But, you know, I just wish she had been there. Her and my dad both are gone. But, you know, I definitely took a picture of them and took it with me that day so I could feel they were close.
Can you start? I think I'm going to hit a button here to stop your video. Can you connect your video there real fast, Raven?
Okay, cool. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
My apology there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, by her being able to, you know, the things I instilled, got from my mother, even though she was, you know, to me, it was emotional abuse. I understand now that she was a product of her product. So we ended up being really close during that time. But, you know, when I was getting the award, the thing that I actually started crying because I was like, I wish my mother was here, because my journey began at the hospital, and I would have never known that I would have a signed award here and the presidential pen. And all I've done was do one amazing interview at a time. So interviews can change your life. Podcasting can change your life. And the best part about podcasting, if you don't have any content, you create content for sure by interviewing the greats and doing like you, Scott. Just interview.
That's the idea. Try to get the word out what we do, because it's still a very small community out there and we're all doing amazing things. And I was honored to be a part of New Media Summit and get a chance to hang out with you and so many other great people, and always learn as much as I can from those that have been gone before me and doing a great job. Because I've only been podcasting for just over a year. I still got a lot to learn. So,
no, you're doing great. You're doing really great. I can't wait to have you on my show. So,
looking forward to being on it. Definitely. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Raven? Best way to connect with you?
You know, go to amazingwomenofpower.com, amazingwomenofpower.com, and click on contact us, or send me an email at talkshowmaven@gmail.com, and that's or Facebook, anything under Talk Show Maven, you'll probably find me.
Awesome. Well, highly recommend you check her out, guys and gals out there. Go out and listen to Super Bowl Mondays or all of our other Super Bowl Monday, and go out and listen to other shows as well. Just does a great job out there. Great interviewer. And once again, congratulations on that amazing award, Raven, and all that you're doing in this niche of podcasting, and also the stuff you're doing with all the interviews and shows that you do.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. As you know, and a lot of people, I would like to say this before I leave, Scott. A lot of people do not give us the credit, the recognition that we do. And, you know, people are always, when you go in places, giving you your books and they want to come on. And another exclusive for you, we're launching the first talk show, podcaster, live streamer publicity company that will help people get the recognition that they want, get them in the media, and help them turn their shows into books and all that stuff. Because I want to lift us up so we can get more speaking engagements, and people will pay us for our services. And I'm very adamant about that. And so I don't charge for interviews anymore, but I've come up with probably about 60 different ways to make money. And so I just want to leave by telling those that are podcasting, this is not a hobby. Think of it as a business. You're not a podcaster. You're a podcastpreneur, baby. Cha-ching. So you're right.
Hang on. Love it. Podcastpreneur. Good stuff, Raven. Thank you so much for being on Podcast Day. All right.
All right.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
You left a very inspirational, Raven. People loving hearing your interview. So thanks so much.
You.
All right. That brings us up here.